Bestiality is legal in 10% of the United States. Just a couple years ago, it was legal in 20%. For those states that have chosen to criminalize the practice, there's disagreement. For some, it's a misdemeanor, others a felony. For some, it's a sexual crime, and others animal abuse. Yet if we step back 90 years into American history, bestiality was a felony everywhere, and it was criminalized under state sodomy laws. So my dissertation is a history of bestiality in the 20th century American West that asks the question that arises from these facts. How did we get so messed up about a practice that nobody thinks should be legalized? Well, I'm the first historian to note this legal hiccup by pointing to changes in ideas of sexuality and animals. So I show how the emergence of homosexuality and heterosexuality as the dominant ways of thinking about sex replaced Americans' previous understandings of sex and decreased interest in bestiality. So sex researchers, such as Alfred Kinsey pictured here, and whose archives I use in my dissertation, helped popularize that sexual binary while also saying bestiality should not be criminalized. And this was despite Kinsey's own finding that in certain Western areas of the United States, over 60% of men engaged in bestiality. So I look at how changes to American sodomy law throughout the 20th century relied on ideas of sex researchers and an increasing interest in homosexuality to erase legal protections for animals. And that focus on animals is what sets my dissertation apart from scholars like Kinsey who look at sex, or popular humor like this, or National Lampoon's parody of a Wyoming rancher's romance. But I say that animals matter too, and I show, using the records of animal welfare advocates, how they too failed to conceptualize bestiality as animal abuse when these sex laws changed. And I also show how sexual ideas, or scientific ideas about animals' sexualities and bodies and rights, impacted the enforcement of bestiality law and changes in animal welfare legislation well throughout the 20th century. So ultimately, my dissertation gives legal scholars and animal welfare advocates the historical tools they need to make a change in modern society and have a simple and complete bestiality regulation throughout the United States, one that is standard. It also raises a bigger question, which is that if we can't take the time to criminalize bestiality, perhaps there's other areas where we think we're affording animals adequate protections, but in fact we're failing to do so. Thank you.